Ciao, sono Sara Z dalla La Land. Incontrerò grandi ospiti provenienti da ogni parte del mondo. Vi sorprenderanno condividendo la loro storia, ma tratteremo anche svariati argomenti. Le storie raccontate spezzano le barriere. Enjoy! Hi,
How
I'm
are you?
Sara Z. I'm with Thompson Blake. He appears in Ozark on Netflix, episode 11th, season 4th, directed by Laura Linney, her directorial debut. Welcome
Yes.
to Italy, Thompson.
Wow, you're in Italy. Isn't technology amazing?
You see. Where are you right now?
I'm in Atlanta. So, and I'm actually
How's
at
Atlanta?
my sister's beautiful home. So.
You have a beautiful background.
Oh yeah, you like
Beautiful. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That's me. I had to try to find the right position for my phone because there's nothing to hold on.
Oh, that's the hardest part, isn't it?
Oh my, I think I have to stay like this with my hand. Like, if you see my hand sticking out, I have to
That's
hold
fine.
it.
That's fine.
So I was
Well, yeah,
going
that's
to
fun.
say, ciao Ozark, because your scene was so powerful and you gave so much of yourself that I can call you Thompson Ozark Blake. I don't know. It actually sounds nice.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was working with some really good talent, man. I mean, those guys, I mean, it's just another level.
So
It's
how did
unbelievable.
you get that scene, Thompson? And
Uh,
how was your audition?
I got it through auditioning. I had auditioned for Ozark about 17 times. Through seasons 2 through 4. So I never auditioned for season 1, but 2 through 4 I did. And I kept getting auditions for roles that, you know, I would be intimidating the birds or, you know, I'm shaking down, you know, Marty or something. I was just kind of like, you know, I'm not that guy. I mean, I'm just, you know, I don't contrast with Jason Bateman. If anything, I'm more of a Jason Bateman type is what I was, you know, saying to my friends and stuff. But this one came along and I was like, oh, I read the pages and I was like, oh, I get to fight Jason Bateman. You know what? I'm not getting this role. I'm not going to fight Jason Bateman. I mean, look at me. And then I read the
Why did you
description
think
and it
that?
actually said, just because I've just been, you know, I've just done this so many times. But then I read the description and it actually said in the description, Jason Bateman type. And I was like, I got a shot at this. I might really have a shot at this one. And also the scene read with a lot of humor. And I'm inherently, I don't know, I just flustered and neurotic and that kind of thing. And I was like, you know what? I think that I think that it's just going to play really funny. And read the scene with my friend who reads me all the time, Krista. And when we were doing it, she was like, dude, this is you. The world needs this scene, just with everything going through with COVID and the world just needs this scene. This is just an amazing scene. Anyway, I auditioned. I put it away. Didn't hear back for about 3 weeks. And I just assumed at that point I didn't get it. I was like, okay, probably didn't get it. And then I got the call. I was like, wow, okay. Yeah, I got the...
Did you audition were you in LA or you were already in Atlanta?
I was in Atlanta when I auditioned for that one. Yeah. So, yeah, I got that through my Atlanta agent, Christy Clark at Stewart Talent, Atlanta, which has been amazing.
Okay, I think they are live with us. Let's say, hi, ciao.
Oh, hello.
So the audition, you had a script, and then could you improvise during the casting?
No, I stuck to the script. I stuck to the script. So, yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then how was your, because by the way, Laura Linney chose you. How was like working on set with them, like, and how many days of shooting and what kind? I saw the scene. I saw it many times, and they're using that scene and that in the trailer in a different platform because it's a very important scene. It's everywhere.
It's just everywhere.
So it's the first time Jason Bateman flips, but you can tell us more.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Laura Linney. I mean, my God, I mean, that was all her. I mean, she did that episode. I mean, she was in control. She chose me. She chose the music. She, you know, choreographed that scene. We went to rehearsals. She was great. I mean, the minute that I showed up at the rehearsal, I got out of the caravan and she was right there, and she's like, hello, thank you so much for doing this.
Was
Come
ready
on,
to
I want you.
punch.
I mean, she was like, this is so exciting. This is going to be so much fun. Come on, I want you to come over here and meet Jason. And I went over and met him, and you know, he was so, you know, inviting and everything. And yeah, it just started right there. It was just a good vibe immediately. So, yeah.
How many days of shooting and how many hours to get to what they really wanted, what Laura wanted for that scene?
Well, I got
and if you can give us the background a little bit, like the behind the scene before that scene that happens.
Well, first, of course, there was the fitting that I went to, and then we had a day of rehearsal, and then we had the actual shoot day. The rehearsal day, basically, they were just strapping a rig on my back that shoots out blood. So they wanted to get that choreography right, because when Jason hits me, they wanted me to hit the window and then blood splatter all over the window. And they wanted to get that right.
I'm so sorry. I don't know if I understood about the blood. Where did they put it?
It was a rig that was on my back, and it was like 3 hard metal balls, and it had the blood inside of it. And then there was a tube that was hidden behind my back. And then so when they hit, the guy off screen squeezes the thing, and it shoots all over the car, is what happened. So they wanted to get that rigging right. And because they didn't want to have to reset, you know, that many times on that one.
It had to be perfect. Yeah.
Right. So we rehearsed that, and we weren't rehearsing for very long, maybe an hour, and then Jason had to go do something else. So
for an hour you were punched by Jason.
In the rehearsal, no.
Okay.
On set we did. Nice. We were just walking through it. That's it, and making sure that the lines were right, because I think I had a different line when I get out of the car. It was I don't remember what it was, but he was like, no, you know, don't say that. How about just say how about you learn how to fucking drive? Say something like that. And I was all right, you know, I'm not going to argue.
Yeah.
whatever you say.
Better not. And how was working with him, and if usually doing the scenes like are of course, if you're an actor, you know how to move, you know how to react and act. But did you get hurt, or?
I was very sore afterwards. I was very sore afterwards. Yeah, I mean, it was when we got the first shot off at about, I don't know, 7:30 in the morning. The first shot was me getting hit. It was the wide shot, me getting out of the car and saying my line, and we played the whole thing out, and then he hits me, and I go flying into the back of the car, and so right from the get-go, we were going. So we were just doing that stuff all day, just taking punches, and him too, same thing. And we did have stunt people there too. That, like, you know, the scene where Laura Linney gets like thrown across the road. I mean, obviously that's two stunt people in that shot.
So she and you said she choreographed the whole thing.
She did.
So she decided the shots, like what you were gonna say, where you were supposed to be. Even that her line was quite.
It's fun.
Straight to the point. She wanted that line.
She wanted that line too. But I'll tell you what really blew my mind, aside from Laura Linney and her directing, was Jason's improv in that scene. I mean, he brought so much more than what was written on that page. From the stuff in the car where he's like, "Where do you want me to turn? Went into that car or that car? How about I go up?" Like, none of that stuff's in the script. And then, of course, him getting out of the car and, I just might, you know, stuff like that. Like, all that was improv.
Did something else happen that you were like, of course you were prepared, but you just said that he improvised a little bit. Were you kind of caught in a scene that you were not supposed to do, or you didn't know it was going to happen during because in the rehearsal it wasn't part of it, and you had to react in a different way each time?
No, it was very specific. I mean, you hit a certain mark and you do a certain thing. You know, we didn't do a lot of takes. I mean, we did a lot of angles, but we didn't do a lot of takes at any one particular angle. I would say maybe 2 or 3. I think maybe I got 2. That was about it. But once we did the master scene, the master shot, and he improv a lot, he stuck with that improv pretty much the whole time. So, you know, just so you know,
you have a chance to talk. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Did you have a chance to talk to him afterwards, like to talk like normally, like off character?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, but not as much as I would like. I mean, he was engaged the entire time. I mean, he's a producer on the show. He's directed several episodes, and I mean, he was engaged. I mean, he watched every single shot, every single take that we did. They had a van that they would go watch all the dailies. So they would go and shut the door in that van and watch the dailies. And I mean, he was right there setting up the shots and everything. I mean, Laura was directing, absolutely, but he was hands-on producer at the same time.
Thompson, what was your role? We didn't talk about your role in the scene.
What was the role?
Oh, yeah, what was your role? But how was the scene about? I don't want to. I want you to tell us.
Oh, you want to
tell the audience
okay. Well,
your role in that scene.
Marty and Wendy had just had an encounter with a cartel who was immobilized in a hospital, and she's doing some stuff that he doesn't like in the show. I won't say what that is. And they're leaving, and he's frustrated. He's at the end of his rope, and I'm this asshole behind him, like honking the horn, flipping him off, and he just loses it. That's just where it's like, that's it. And then he proceeds to beat the ever-living crap out of me, and walks off. I guess a stronger person. I don't know. And it's just a turning point for Marty, where he just literally just loses it. And also, I think at the same time, he also, even in that scene at the end, he has to collect himself, because even Marty, I think, was thinking that wasn't supposed to happen. It's just because he's like, just this isn't me. I'm not supposed to be doing this.
Because that was the first time in the whole seasons for him to do something, to act in that way.
Yeah, and
it was feeling control, his character, like very submissive.
Exactly, because he's always kept it together. He's always been the character that keeps everybody together in the family. And and even when we left the set, we were driving back to base camp, and one of the PA said to me, she goes, so how does it feel to be the only person to ever be beat up by Marty Bird? And I'm like, wow, I guess that is true. Oh no. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing.
It's good. I think it's good.
It's a good thing.
And I think, come on, tell us the truth, Thompson. You have road rage. You do. How's driving in Atlanta versus LA?
I get a little bit of road rage when I'm on 285. I'll tell you that right now. It's the perimeter that goes around. I mean, the roads are a mess. Let me just say that Georgia needs to repair these roads. There are so many potholes on that road.
Is it worse?
It's killing my car.
Than Los Angeles? Is it worse?
I think 285 is worse. 285 is worse than the 101 or the 405. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not familiar, but how? So we can talk a little bit maybe about your acting career in LA or Atlanta. Did this gig, this scene, help you to get more projects and more exposure? If you would like to give advice to other actors. Yeah,
that's a good question, because that's what I would want to know if I was on the other side. You know what? I think that remains to be seen at this point. I'm certainly, I have people who will talk to me now who would never have spoke to me before. There are certain, people in the industry that are like, oh, I do remember you, and will get back to me on emails and stuff like that. So I have a dialogue going, but not, still people are kind of like, yeah, but it's not enough. Don't stop. Whatever you do, do not stop. Do not give up right now. We're watching you. You're on our radar. So I think at this point, it helps in the sense when, I still get a lot of auditions. I think it helps casting people to look and go, oh, I do remember that. As opposed to, okay, well, what's this guy done? Oh yeah, all right, well, I don't know much about that. But this one, people are giving me a second look. So, we'll see where it goes. Like I said, it remains to be seen. I think I've taken the fourth step maybe on a very tall ladder.
On a very
tall ladder.
Oh, tall ladder. Yeah.
4 or 5.
It's acting. It's a very distinctive field and business. Yeah. But I was thinking about all the auditions right now at casting are on videos. Do you think it's good or bad? I mean, for me, I think it's better when you meet in person the casting director, but now it's like just through like a phone, everything is online. How did you feel about that?
I think it has pros and cons. I think it has pros and cons to it. I mean, the pro is, you know, if you don't like what you did, you can do it again. The con is you're not building those relationships face to face, and I miss that. I like going to the room. I like saying hello, and being able to read live and to have them actually direct you. I mean, as a casting director, you are a casting director, you know, and they don't give you any notes like that. I mean, it's written in a little thing. I mean, sometimes you get a redirect, but for the most part, you know, they'll send the tape and they'll just cast you right off of that. I mean, there was a time, at least if you get a call back, you go into the room, and it seems since COVID that doesn't even happen anymore. So
yeah, but now I think you're starting going to the casting office, right? I think right now, because COVID, it's a little bit quieter.
Yeah,
quieter.
I haven't been in a casting office since early 2020. I haven't been in a casting office at all.
Really?
Mm. In fact, I don't know anybody that has, to be honest.
And what do you do, like, beside acting? Do you have any other passions? How do you spend your time when you don't audition, or
I'm
do you
an
write
exercise junkie.
yourself?
I'm an exercise junkie. I used to be a writer. I used to do a lot of writing, actually. And there was a point in my life where I had just signed on with a manager, and it was like, wow, you know, I've really got something going here. And I was sitting in my apartment, and there was a Screen Actors Guild building out on Wilshire, right outside my apartment. And I remember when I was a kid, you know, I moved out to LA just to do the acting, and I quit to do behind the scenes. And I looked at that building, and I was like, I hate writing. I just hate this. Why did I stop acting? That was back in 2011. And
you hated why? Why did you think, or you said
it just felt like a chore, sitting down and having to write, and having to write well is hard, by the way. That's it. I mean, my hat's off to these writers. Writing is easy. Writing well is extraordinarily difficult, and you know that because you just finished a book, writing your book.
Yeah, see, it's in Italian, my language, but
quite an accomplishment.
It's it's quite of a challenge, and I'm running to like my a pilot, but yeah, it's a challenge for sure. And I'm thinking about all of those screenwriters for Ozark or all of the other TV series, like 10, 12, 20 episodes, like 8 seasons. I'm like,
how do they do that? It's like, how do they keep it going? Like, and how do they keep you, you know, on the edge of your seat all the time, without just like totally jumping the shark or something like that, so to speak?
I think when the character goals are very strong, it might be easier to take the character and put him in different situations accordingly to what's happening in the previous episode. And of course, it's a talent. You know, they're all professional writers, brainstorming a lot of ideas, and
these guys,
it's not just one person.
Yeah, and Chris Mundy, who is a showrunner on Ozark, is just, I mean, clearly an amazing talent to be able to do something like that. Or Vince Gilligan, or Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. I mean, these guys, how do they keep this going like that, just week after week? And they're just so smart, and you know. And I think I quit writing too because it's like, I'm just not. I don't have that kind of talent. I'm a slow writer.
You need to now.
It will take me forever.
Satisfied.
Yeah, and it's just so.
You're acting hard.
Yeah. I need that immediate adrenaline, and you don't get that off that. So
how was LA? How was LA, acting in LA, or like the acting in the acting business in Los Angeles?
Well, of course, the acting business is in Los Angeles. I mean, that is where it is. I mean, the entertainment industry is there, and you know, people say, well, Atlanta's just a smaller market. I call it more of an ancillary market. It's not a real market. I think the real market is Hollywood. That is the market. And, you know, they go other places to shoot. This is a shooting location. But that said, Atlanta has a lot of talent here now. And Atlanta has a lot of production people here now. And a lot of studios and sound stages and infrastructure that does rival Los Angeles, and it does rival New York. You know, so many of my acting friends, even from, you know, acting school out there, have moved to Atlanta. there's a lot of people here from LA and New York, and it's not as easy to break in here as it once was, because the market is very, very competitive.
I thought
sure.
instead it probably was easier because it was a smaller environment or like less talent than LA, so it would have been easier breakthrough. But you're just saying no, that now it's becoming like
it's becoming like
LA.
that. I mean, you have agencies like that at a different tier levels. But then again, LA is harder to break into. I mean, even with Ozark, it's still very, very difficult for me to land a good agent. Now, I can land agents out there, but I would, if I can't have it at a certain tier, I just as soon not even have one, because you're not going to get the auditions. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Would
in my
you
experience
come back?
anyway.
Would you come back to LA, Thompson?
I love Los Angeles. I love LA. I do. I want to go to a Dodger game. That's what I want to do.
I'm gonna go. Sorry.
But yeah, I said I want to go to a Dodgers game. That's what I wish I
Oh,
would do. Yeah.
See.
I'd love to come back to LA, but I don't see me going back to LA unless I have a team put together there, you know, that's going to have me going out all the time. Because here, I mean, I'm literally going out 2-3 times a week easily. So,
which is very good.
But I do have
very
a manager there, Lisa Tucker, and she's fantastic. So I do have a manager there in Los Angeles, and she gets me auditions there. That I can tape from here. So that's another pro taping, is that I can tape for stuff in Los Angeles, even though.
And you might have maybe it could happen that you might have a casting in Atlanta for shows shot in LA. Could it happen for someone living in a different city, like in Atlanta, they take you to LA for a job?
They won't do it for co-star roles.
Okay.
Yeah, so for co-star roles, you know, that you like may have to be on set literally the next day, and also with COVID and all the testing that goes on beforehand. Guest star roles, recurring roles, series regular roles, yes. Those I could possibly audition for in Los Angeles and be here. But the co-star roles, they want you to be local. And it's the same thing in Atlanta. It's like if there's a co-star role in Atlanta, they want you to be local. They don't want to fly you in from Los Angeles, although they do sometimes. So there is that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also an economical probably decision. You know, it's easier to get a person who already lives in LA. It was happening the same with me as a dancer from Milan, and then it would say, okay, if you want to come to Rome, but you have to pay for this and that, like place where you couldn't sleep, a hotel, and then with a paycheck, it would have been like not very convenient.
Exactly. Well, it depends on the production. Like I just read for something this week that's going to shoot in New Orleans, and if I get it, hope, it could possibly be a regional hire. So they would put me up and stuff like that. So they were looking for local or regional hires for that one. So,
okay.
You know, you never know.
Thompson, would you like to say something in Italian? Do you know any Italian? As a rap, we don't rap with a punch. We don't rap with a punch.
Oh,
no.
I wish I know more Spanish than I know Italian. Ciao. Okay. I know that.
What's that?
Ciao.
Oh, ciao. 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 Ciao's too easy.
That's Spanish too. See.
See,
I know,
see, no. Okay. See.
It's a beautiful language, though. It's a beautiful language to listen to, even if you don't know the language.
See, I can teach you maybe how to say good luck, which is buona fortuna.
Buona
fortuna. And I really wish you that. I really wish you.
Thank you. And same to you.
Tanta buona fortuna for your acting career and wherever this path is going to take you, Thompson.
Well, thank you so much. And Sarah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks to you.
I love your podcast.
Oh yeah, thank you. You're gonna be in it yourself,
okay,
as well, because I'm gonna take the audio and it'll be in the podcast as well. Thank you so much for everyone. I'm Sara Z, Thompson Blake from Ozark. Ciao.
Thank you, Sarah.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Bye. Thanks.